These past 4 years have been very difficult. For me, it wasn't any different. I'm going to tell you guys my experiences in the last 4 years and what I've done to overcome those and do what I do now. I am going to skip the year 2019 because honestly I only posted like 4 videos during that year, but the main thing I wanted to talk about was really just the 2020s, and basically everyone knows that the internet has not been the same since 2019. I mean, actually just anything in general, like the movie industry, the game industry, like everything was just so different and everything felt like it got worse. I think I can speak for everyone when I say we miss those times, like the 2010s and before. We miss those times where life was good, everything was good. Well, not everything was good, obviously, but it wasn't as chaotic as it is now in the 2020s. Because, let's be real, everything went down to flames when we hit that 2020 mark. And it's unfortunate that I started my channel around that era because, well, technically I did start in 2018 earlier, but, well, like I said many times, that channel is like long gone, so don't expect to see that. I basically started during a rough time, and it was kind of simple and easy to run a channel around that, but at the same time, it was very difficult to go through school and family and life in general, which is what I'm going to be talking about in this video. And like I said, we're going to skip 8th grade year 2019 and the beginning of 2020 because it wasn't really that challenging. I'm just going to talk about from where COVID started beyond that point. So basically the last few months of my 8th grade year. Also note that this is going to be a long video. This is basically like a video diary with a lot of ranting and storytelling. So if you don't like those type of videos, I suggest you click off this video. If not, thank you for staying and tuning in. Late 8th grade year. This was when the coronavirus was starting to become a thing, and we started working at home.
And I'm going to start by reading this book. Hey guys, I got some news. You all know what the coronavirus is, right? If you don't, then look it up, because I am bad at explaining things. Anyway, before we get into the video, I gotta tell you that my school district decided to close school for a month.
Either if you had a job or you were in school, you just did it at home. It was basically the spring of 2020. So, yeah, I mean, the winter time was chill remaining, you know. I was still doing school in person, still filming videos. Well, I filmed videos pretty much throughout 2020. I never really took a break or anything. And yeah, there was a giant gap between March of 2020 and April or May 2020. But that's because the videos that were around that time, I deleted it. So that's why it seems like there was just a giant time jump there, but there really wasn't. So I spent the rest of my 8th grade year doing stuff at home. It was a new concept, and honestly, I enjoyed it at first because that was when I was like tired of doing school in person and everything. And I also didn't like middle school at all. Middle school years suck. So I was glad to be learning at home instead, but it definitely was difficult because of socializing and understanding what to do, because it was new for everyone, new for teachers, new for the staff members and students. Like, we didn't even do Zoom. We basically they posted assignments for my school, and they just give us directions on what to do, and I basically just did stuff from there on my own. And yeah, I was basically more independent, which I guess it kind of helped later on in high school. So I guess it was more like a learning experience rather than an actual challenge. I mean, it was a challenge, but it was more of like preparing myself and training for high school and being independent rather than just basically being an obstacle. Over the summer of 2020, after my 8th grade year ended, I basically started recorded with my cousins a bit more often. Started a Duck Host series, which is a well-known franchise if you haven't watched that. And everything was going good over the summer. I definitely had a lot of time on my hands because, well, it was summer, and even then, I was at home for the majority of the times because of COVID and remote learning, that I had a lot of time to record videos, and I was definitely more consistent with my uploading schedules and everything during that time. Things started changing when my freshman year began, though, in the fall of 2020. Well, my cousins didn't really have time to record videos with me because, they had to go back to school. I had to go back to school. It was difficult to find time. And yes, I know we were still learning at home. We were still learning at home during that time, but we still did not have time to record videos and plan everything out because we all had our own things.
Well, you've seen the recent videos. Most of them were like solo, and it's solo. Like a lot of them were solo because my cousins and I have school, so we don't have time to record with each other, and sometimes we don't want to record with each other
because Tram, Kari, and Helen, they both go to different schools than me, so they were on a different schedule, different pages, and everything. So I basically just did a lot of videos on my own because of that. And yeah, it was COVID during my freshman year. It was very challenging compared to 8th grade, because 8th grade was it was a new concept, but at least I handled myself pretty well. Freshman year, I didn't really handle myself pretty well. I had anxiety because of my sister. Because if you have an older sibling who always checks your grades and always checks your homework and everything, you can definitely understand what it feels like when, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't that good with schoolwork back then. Like, I would always need help from, my parents or my sister, my older sister, and yeah, whenever I get it wrong, I get scared and frazzled because I know they're either gonna hit me or they're just gonna yell at me, and I don't like being yelled at when I do something wrong and make a mistake. And that's why I'm afraid of making mistakes and failing and doing terrible in school.
If you ever become a parent, don't be exactly like your parents. If your kids gets B's in school, it's fine.
And that's why I had anxiety back in freshman year, because I was at home and my sister was at home because she was a senior at that time. It was me and her. We were both doing schoolwork in the living room, in the kitchen, together. Even though, she has her own work, she likes to check my work because she knows I'm a bad student, or at least was a bad student at the time. And I know I was a bad student at the time. So, I just had anxiety every time. When I wake up, I'm like, I gotta go through this. Basically, my sister was like the mean old boss, and I was working in a cubicle. Basically, that's what it felt like. That was my freshman year. But I gotta admit, though, my uploading during this time was very consistent. It wasn't as bad as the next few years coming up that I'm going to be talking about. There's really nothing I had to say about freshman year other than that COVID was really a pain in the butt, but at the same time, it was also nostalgia because we had games like Among Us. Even though it's a terrible cringe meme now, it was definitely nostalgic to play it for the first few times, and then other games too in 2020 and 2021, since I'm talking about my freshman year overall. By the way, if you guys want to check out all the videos I made during my freshman year, there's a playlist for that called Wintry Will Season 2, and there's also Wintry Will Season 1, which is 8th grade year, and then so forth beyond there. Alright, these next couple of sections will be longer, most likely because a lot more happened, and there's just a lot of explanation and details that need to be said for these sections. But we're getting into sophomore year now. So freshman year ends, and sophomore year, that was when my channel name changed.
Who's gonna say it? I don't wanna. Me neither.
Fine, I'll say it. Willem the Doge is now dead. It's been confirmed.
Yep. So
We're changing the name,
We went from Willem the Doge to WTHK, which are the initials of my name, Tram's name, Karu's name, and Hohen's name. And it also has an acronym. It stands for Who the Heck Knows, because we don't know what it stands for, but that's what it stands for. Ironically, it's supposed to be ironic, all right? But yeah, we changed the channel name. Me and our cousins, we decided to share a channel and post videos, but that didn't really last very long. Also, around that time, I also lost my original Roblox account.
It's Wilm the Doge is officially dead. Like, I know you might have heard this before, but that was because I changed the channel name. But this one, I'm being serious now. You might be wondering why I'm not playing on my Mad Mike account. It's because my account, right? I can't get back in. It's gone forever. That's what I mean by, officially dead. I actually can't get back in, guys. I'm not joking. So, let me tell you what happened. Last week on last Monday, right? I signed out of my It's Wilm the Doge account to do something on this account. Yeah. And when I tried to log back in, I couldn't because there was I remembered the password, but I had to deal with this 2-step verification, right? And you probably think, oh, you can just, put in the code and boom, you're in. Well, Roblox was being stupid. They didn't give me the verification code.
So this was pre-sophomore year of mine, but around this time, me and my best friend Hannah, you guys don't know, I made a couple of videos with her in Bloxburg and eventually Weightlifting Simulator 3, where she left early.
Yeah, I was just doing my intro.
I bet.
Alright, say hi to the video.
Hello, guys. Do it or you die.
Hannah, shh. Okay,
Alright,
so what are we doing?
let's do
Hannah?
this. We are going to stalk some people, because why not? So,
Yeah.
But basically, I reunited with my best friend since 4th grade. Me and Hannah had a falling out during our 7th grade year over some stupid middle school stuff. But over Discord, we reunited and became best friends again. And we still are to this day. And I'm very close with her mom since she's a Spanish teacher at our school. So, yeah. And I would talk about more about the Spanish teacher in the later sections, because at the time I wasn't that close to her until junior year and senior year where I was. But anyways, I'm gonna try to make this quick. Sophomore year was interesting because that's when that's when everyone returned to in-person learning. I mean, some people didn't, which I guess is okay, but we had masks on and everything, and that was not fun at all. I did not like wearing masks because it made my glasses foggy. And yes, I had glasses, and it was making me feel hot inside. And I have a condition, basically when my body temperature rises, I start to itch very bad, and that's what the mask was doing. So I was basically itching the majority of my sophomore year, and it was to the point where I had to stay out of my tennis games and tennis practices because my itching condition was so bad. But enough of that. There was actually a lot of good stuff that happened during sophomore year, because there wasn't that much drama compared to the next 2 years I'm going to talk about soon. And me and Hannah, we were just doing our own thing. I also had my best friend, we're just going to call him Piper, but I met him during my freshman year, and yes, we still had remote learning, but we still also had sports, and freshman year was when I started doing sports, and that's how I met Piper. Me and him, this was the first time that me and him interacted with each other outside of tennis in our sport. And yeah, it was very interesting. We were an interesting friend group. And yeah, I remember in my chemistry class, me and Hannah, we would just you guys remember the Minecraft mini movies that I've been doing throughout 2021 and 2022, which was the runtime of my sophomore year. Yeah, me and her, we both were working on that during our chemistry class, or in our chemistry class. So yeah, instead of doing chemistry, we were making Minecraft roleplay scripts, and that was one of the memorable things about sophomore year that I would never forget. And it's a bond that me and her had, that she even showed up in one of my mini movies and voice acted one of the characters.
You always
Look, I didn't know you felt this way.
It's too late to apologize now. Army, attack.
Wait a second. Macarena, what's with you and angering everyone in your childhood?
I have no idea. Okay, continue.
So, we definitely had a fun time doing that, and yeah, it was definitely nostalgic for us. And I wish I could go back during that time where I was making mini movie scripts, not caring about my chemistry homework and stuff, because honestly, chemistry was stupid. I have suffered from mental illness for the past 6 years.
Also, I've been very miserable lately, and it's not because of 2020. 2020 was way after, but I felt this way like maybe between my 6th and 7th grade year. I'm a freshman now. I don't know, maybe it's because of my love life, or it could be because I'm lonely. I mean, I do have friends, but we don't talk a lot.
So basically since 2018, and it got worse during my freshman year. But I believe that the next 3 years, it was definitely at its lowest. Because, well, basically what happened was, so the counselors at my school assigned a little check-in or a test about our mental illnesses and stuff like that. And I answered all of it, honestly, because obviously I wasn't going to lie about that, because it has been, well, at the time, it has been like 4 years. About 3 or 4 years. So I kind of wanted to share that. And the counselors were concerned about the answers, which, by the way, it wasn't written response, it was multiple choice. And the results end up in different levels depending on what you chose. And I guess mine was at like the high concern level because they called me down because of my answer choices. And they were concerned about my mental health. And then one of the counselors called my dad about it, and he informed my mom about it. So it just like news kept spreading to my family, and it was not good. I don't know why the counselor did that, because honestly it wasn't like, I didn't want my parents to know, and I still don't. And I don't know why the counselor would think that, especially if she didn't even ask me about it either. She didn't ask for my permission to tell them about it. She just did it. And that was what made sophomore year bad, because this was the first time that my parents have heard about my mental illness. And they didn't take it seriously. I mean, maybe they did. No, actually, no. Never mind. They didn't. Because, well, my dad didn't really care. My mom was just confused and denied. She was in denial about it. Because she believes that, because I'm young and because I have like a house, I have shelter, I have food and everything, I should be happy. Which obviously, no. It doesn't, because money doesn't buy happiness, but it can help, but it doesn't buy happiness. I mean, it makes things easier, but it doesn't buy happiness still. That's just my perspective on everything. Especially if it's mental illness, then it obviously does not buy happiness. This was also around the same time that my sister went to college, and she wasn't at home to help me with this whole family drama. So the only way she could connect is over the phone and text, and that was very hard for all of us. I spent my sophomore year arguing my case about my mental illness between my parents. And at school, I have just been doing my work and writing mini movie scripts with my friends. So, yeah, sophomore year was definitely interesting. It wasn't the worst. In fact, it was probably one of the better high school years compared to the next two. You can check out all the videos I made during my sophomore year in the Wintry Whale Season 3 playlist. Alright, junior year has to be one of the worst years of high school for me. So, during my junior year, well, in the summer, nothing really happened because I took a small minor break for a bit, but I started doing Bloxburg roleplays, if you guys don't know. In fact, I started doing these videos with little Bia, if you guys remember her. She was the Bloxburg player that saw me as a father figure, an actual father figure, by the way, not just in roleplay. And I felt uncomfortable by this. And because of this miscommunication and stuff like that, me and her had a falling out, and she got upset at me, and I was upset at her because we just didn't understand each other that well. Because, well, I was told by Lil Bia's sister that she doesn't really talk that much, and she also told me some dark things that Bia does in real life. Like, she would ask people to pay for her in order to play with her and stuff like that. Not my words, but it definitely changed my perspective on Lil Bia, and I can start to see like what was going on, and I can kind of like make sense of it. But yeah, I thought Bia was just one of those people that, you know, one of my friends that we would always like play Bloxburg together and just roleplay and have fun. But she went to the extreme because she actually saw me as a father figure, and it was kind of weird because like I could be in a different game, like an obby, Fleet of Facility, or even Murmur Street 2, and she would still refer to me as dad, despite not even role-playing or even in a role-play game. So I felt uncomfortable, especially because like I was a teenager and I don't know how old she was, but definitely young. And I was trying to tell her that, but she didn't really get it, and because of that, me and her, we just fell off, and we never spoke to each other since then. And it was just such a shame because I really wanted to tell her why I felt the way I did and why I was upset. And I did, but she didn't read those messages and everything. You guys can watch a whole video on that because I made a whole video on explaining the situation, but it was crazy. And while that was also happening, I also had some drama with my mom and everything because me and her, we were arguing and everything. My mom has definitely gotten worse since 2020. She's been arguing with my sister, and now she's been arguing with me. And even this year, she was arguing with me. But I'll get into that in the final section of this video. But anyways, that was the whole summer and also the beginning of fall of my junior year, so it was like the very beginning. Things didn't get easier though, because then I had some crush drama. I liked this one girl who was a sophomore at the time, and I was a junior, so 1 year age gap. But anyways, this is when my Spanish teacher comes in to the story, the one that's the mother of my friend Hannah. This is when me and her were finally close with each other after sophomore year. But basically, me and my crush, we'll call her Palm Tree, because that's what I called her. So me and Palm Tree, we were in the same Spanish class. That's why I liked her, and that's how I liked her, and found out who she was. Anyways, so my Spanish teacher had this one assignment where we all shared a Google Slides. So I wrote on Palm Tree's slide a message. I asked her, want to come to homecoming with me, secret admirer. And when the class saw that the next day or two, they found it hilarious. I found it hilarious. My Spanish teacher knew it was me because we were close like that, and she also found it hilarious. And even Palm Tree, she found it hilarious herself. She said she would go to homecoming with me if I revealed myself, but I didn't because, well, I just didn't want to do it in front of the whole class, obviously, because that's embarrassing to reveal yourself and your feelings in front of the whole class. So that's why I wanted to message her in private on Instagram, and I did. And turns out I didn't get the response I was hoping for. Well, not only that she was annoyed, but because I kept trying to message her and stuff, because I kept messing up on my wording and rephrasing and everything. I kept like sending, deleting until I get the words right. She just left me on seen, left me on read, and I mean, it was probably a clear sign. I was probably stupid. It was probably a clear sign that she wasn't interested, but I just felt it was a bit rude just to reject me like that way, you know. But you know what? People can do whatever, and I'm grown to realize that now. That people can just do whatever, and I shouldn't get petty and be upset over stupid things like that. But my dumb self decided in the next several weeks or so, maybe like even a month maybe, like I was kind of chill, but I don't really want to admit it like this, but I took photos of her without her consent, and I know that's wrong. Like, it's been a year, and I know that's wrong already. I know that I realize that's wrong, and I definitely change and learn from that mistake and won't do it again. I also got in trouble with the school too, which I also won't blame either, because what I did there was definitely not right and just rude and creepy. But I will say how her friends reacted was not really the best. Well, first off, they harassed me online and made multiple social media accounts dedicated to me. And yeah, her friends also, like, the reason why they know about these photos that I took of her was because of her friends. They were pretending to be my friend because they know I like her. In fact, one of them was even her cousins. And they were just trying to see, like, what I was about and everything. And when I thought they were my friends and stuff, I told them that I took photos of her and everything, which, I mean, I can't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because maybe it was like, it's a good thing because it was like, yeah, what I did was messed up and completely wrong. But at the same time, they also betrayed my trust and everything, because I thought they were my friends, and the fact that they just did that literally the next day after I was talking to them and having a good conversation, a goofy conversation with them, it felt a little bit heartbreaking, because I have dealt with fake friends before, and I still can't get used to that feeling. But at the same time, I feel like it was also a good thing as well, because what I did was wrong completely, like I said. But anyways, it was also weird because these guys was also trying to pretend like they were my fans, and I was scared that they found out about my YouTube channel. But I was like, no way they did. And it turns out they were just pretending to be my fans just to mess with me, take selfies and stuff with me in the hallways and everything every time I run by them. I apologized to Palm Tree, and I still feel guilty about everything. And I apologized to her like so many times. I don't know how many times, because I felt that bad. Because usually when I feel bad, I would not just like apologize just once. I would do it multiple times, because I really wanted to get that message across that I was sorry about what I did and my actions and everything. My family didn't make it any better though. Also, note that this was around the same time that me and my mom were still arguing and are not on good terms. I did mention that earlier in the video, right? That me and my mom were having trouble, like our relationship with each other was struggling and toxic. Yeah, it was around that same time, so it didn't make it any better. Also, before you call me a hypocrite for being mad at Palm Tree for lying to me when I tried to lie to her, look, let's just get this one thing straight. I lied to protect myself from getting bullied and gossiped about by her friends, my friends, etc. You know, basically what you just saw on the messages and everything, and Instagram stories. And while she lied for the opposite reason. She wanted to find out who was having feelings for her, which led to the same outcome of gossiping and bullying on me. So to me, it was a lose-lose battle, really. But I'm pretty sure anyone would not tell anyone their crushes, you know? I mean, everyone does that. But so many people were harassing me throughout the entire school year. And even to this day, there still are some that are still like, they still hate me because of that. And it's been a year. That's what sucks about life. It's just that, well, high school really. It's just that some people just, like, they don't move on or anything. Because I already apologized. I already learned and moved on. And I don't know what else I don't know what else I can do. They're still gonna look at me as as if I'm a prisoner or something that escaped. That's probably what they're looking at me right now. They probably think I'm a fugitive. I don't know. I don't know. But everyone else still gives me dirty looks about it to this day, and it's whatever. It's high schoolers, people are just gonna be stuck on the same thing for the next 10 years.
School, is an adventure for me right now at the moment. And it'll probably be worse when March comes, as well as April. So yeah, expect me to not post as much or at all. That's just a heads up there. I'll just tell you guys where I've been. I've been just focusing on school, mostly just school and myself, and finding things to distract myself from those issues and stuff, and trying to fix problems revolving in my real life, in real life. So yeah, and things have been going okay, I guess. Great, maybe, sometimes, I don't know. Well, I mean, the girl that I like, I'm still trying to get over her and stuff. Things haven't really been well between me and her. So yeah, I tried to resolve that issue. So yeah, but that's not really any of your guys' business and stuff. I don't know why I'm sharing that, but that's one of the issues, I guess you could say. And yeah, I've been trying to resolve that one. It never really was resolved. It was just basically forgotten, and yeah, drama, high school drama, stuff like that. Trying to resolve those type of things.
So that was basically my whole junior year in terms of bad stuff. There were good stuff that happened during my junior year, such as the time I joined pep band and got closer with my fellow bandmates who were all my friends and everything. Despite their weirdness, because they're band kids. I'm a band kid too, so yeah, I'm also weird too. But not as weird as they are, for sure. But I definitely got closer with them by doing pep band, and I also went to my first basketball game ever. It was my first high school basketball game that I ever went to. And it makes me realize that I actually enjoy going to these sporting events, and I want to go to more, which leads to my senior year, where I actually do attend to more sporting events. Also, I would like to mention right now, before I get into this next section about my senior year, is that I did have another crush on a girl who was 2 years younger than me, so she was a freshman during this time. And we'll just call her Eminem, and she's gonna appear again in the next section. Also, real quick with the photo situation, I wish I wasn't the only one who was self-aware and had to apologize, because I'm gonna be real here, we were all idiots in this situation, and I wish everyone else played their part and actually matured enough to apologize and own up for their own mistakes too. But I guess they see me as the biggest idiot, meaning that the biggest idiots have to do the biggest apologies. Alright, so this one might be the longest section, because senior year was basically a combination of all the previous 3 years I just talked about, combined into one, amplified by 100. So let's just get straight into it. So in the last section, I mentioned a girl, we're just gonna call her Eminem, that I had a crush on during my junior year, back in the spring. Well, yeah, now she wants to start drama this year, because guess what? She accused me of stalking her and taking photos of her. Sounds familiar? Palm tree? Sounds familiar? So basically, she's also accusing me of doing the same thing I did to Palm Tree last year, but I didn't, because, well, first off, I don't even like her this year. I liked her in the spring, and that was it. That was it. I like someone else, actually, conveniently, who also thinks I'm stalking them, but I'm not going to talk about them just yet. But Eminem and her friends have been pushing me out of their friend group, because me and her are in the same classes. Well, not classes, just one class, which is yearbook. Me and her, we both are on the yearbook team, as well as some other people. And she accused me of stalking her and everything just because I sat near her, when in reality I was sitting close to my best friend who was sitting next to her. So it's not my fault that my best friend wants to sit next to you and I want to sit next to my best friend. So I don't know what you want me to do about it, Eminem, okay? And yes, I'm gonna be speaking in like an angry tone because I am angry about this. Because this is the same stuff that happened in junior year. But this time, it's not true at all. I didn't do anything this time. But her friends believe it. And even Palm Tree from last year believes it. And me and her just got on good terms this year. And now those terms were ripped up because now she thinks I'm doing it. I'm on this stuff again. And I'm not. I'm telling you right now, I'm not. Because I like this other girl. And I was focused on getting the other girl to like me. We'll just call her Iguana. Iguana. So yeah, I had a crush on Iguana, same age as Eminem and same grade as Eminem. And I was trying to get her to like me back and be friends with me since basically August. And then I had moved on like mid-October after realizing that it wasn't going to work out. I had the help of my Spanish teacher too, because she was helping me, she was telling me advice and things like that. Telling me not to give up, telling me that you should keep trying, and telling me to like slow down and take my time with her and get to know her more. And that's what I have trying to been doing for the past several months. But Iguana thinks I'm stalking her too, so I just gave up on that one. I mean, I can kind of see why Iguana thinks that, because I don't know. Like, I was just trying to say hi to her one time and try to talk to her on Instagram and stuff like that, messaging her. So I can kind of see why she may think that, but my intentions were not like that. I was just trying to be friendly, and I guess it was uncomfortable for her. So it was just miscommunication and misinterpreting my, things like that. Because what I deemed as supposed to be like friendly and normal, because I was just trying to say hi to her, be friendly with her, she took it as creepy and weird. So, yeah. But Eminem, though, I don't know why she thinks I was stalking her when I was too busy trying to get Iguana to like me and trying to be friends with her. It's just crazy. Like, I don't care about Eminem. And I don't care about Iguana anymore. I just want to get into college now, because I'm a senior. I've been, working hard to apply to colleges, essays, and financial aid and all that stuff for college prep. And, like, 2 girls this year think I'm stalking them. One, I can kind of see why they would think that, but I'm telling you right now that it's not true, and I wasn't trying to be like, make it seem like I was stalking her. And the other one was just lying. Because I liked Eminem last year, not this year. I got over her very quickly, especially after she rejected me back in April or May. It was May. Like, I got over her very quickly, especially over the summer. And now this year, she's accusing me of still liking her and stalking her. Like, what? Editing William here, but I did not mention this at all, but here are some screenshots of things that, like, the conversation that me and Eminem had. See, they're not even bad. They're, like, friendly, maybe a bit dry, I don't know. I tried to make it not dry, so maybe pause the video and read these, and maybe I should have mentioned that you guys could do that too with the screenshots I sent in the junior section. For this screenshot, you may think that I was constantly like double texting and triple texting, but she actually deleted the messages, and luckily I already screenshot the original 3 weeks ago before she could delete them. And I think she deleted them because when she and I and the rest of her friends were confronted with the counselor, she did not want to show the inappropriate messages that she just sent me. Which is weird, because it's weird that she calls me weird when she's the one who's sending inappropriate messages. Which is different from my messages, because my messages were genuine and friendly, while hers was inappropriate. Okay, I guess I'm the weird one then. She also said I continuously message her when, like, the last time I messaged her was literally May 1st and one in August 22nd, which was the first day of our school year. So, like, it's like a huge time jump. I don't know what she means by continuously. That's not continuous. And sometimes I would answer her when she asked questions like, hey, what time do we leave class? And when nobody would answer, I would answer for her because I do that with everyone. I like to help people, especially bozos who can't read the damn clock. But anyways, so yeah, her and her friends, they have been like on my case since August, and now I found out why, because she thinks I'm stalking her, and her friends also believe that too. Like what? Like what? I don't know what photos are talking about. The only photos I took was for yearbook, but I have consent to do that because it's for yearbook. She should know because she's also in yearbook too. That's the only time I took photos of anyone. And I definitely did not take photos of her because she's not in boys soccer, she's not in football, and she's definitely not in girls tennis. She's not in any of those three sports that I just mentioned. So I don't know what photos she's talking about. Maybe she's just delusional, or maybe she's just believing what other people say because someone out there is probably stirring something up against me because they hate me from last year. That's what I like to believe. I like to believe that these people are still angry from something that happened last year with Palm Tree. That was probably it. That's probably why they're up to get me and starting random stuff for no reason. Like one mistake, and here I am. People still, like, 4 more girls accuse me of stalking them. Like, are you serious?
But the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. In spite of everything you've done for them, eventually they will hate you. Why bother?
Like, this is a new year. I haven't done anything this year. They're just mad about something that happened last year. That's it. They're just mad about what happened between me and Palm Tree. That they had to stir up something against me again. Cause unnecessary drama against me. They just want to see me fall. They just want to see my downfall. They are my downfall. My mistake was my downfall. That one mistake from last year was my downfall. That's whatever. It's high schoolers. They're like, what, 15? The people that are accusing me are like 15, 16. That's like 9 years away from 25. And we all know what happens when you reach 25 years old. Your brain is fully mature at that time. And I'm not saying my brain is fully mature either, obviously, because I'm not even 18 yet. So obviously I still have growing myself. And I felt like I did. I definitely grew from junior year, from sophomore year, from freshman year. Even you guys can see it from my videos. I've definitely grown. It's just high schoolers, they just want to mess me up. But that's not just what happened this year. Besides taking yearbook photos and stuff, discovering what I want to do after high school, which is photography. Ironically, the thing that gets me in trouble and the thing that people accuses me of. But yeah, I've been attending sporting events and everything just to take photos for my yearbook class. And it was very fun, and I discovered my passion, my true passion, was photography. Although technically I did find out that I wanted to do photography at the end of my junior year, but I had an existential crisis this summer. Anymore. I quit this year because I wanted to focus on photography. Cause I'm taking photos for I'm like helping the school build the yearbook, you know. So I take photos at sporting events and everything, and I wanted to focus on that because I enjoy photography and taking photos and help create the yearbook. So I quit band, so that's already out, but I still do have some experience in drums and everything, so I guess I could still. When I told my relatives, my older cousin and everything, that I wanted to do photography in the future, let's just say they all basically just gave me the dead silence. Basically, I come from a family who has high expectations. Basically, I come from an Asian family who wants me to be a doctor, okay? That's just one way to say it. But yeah, my mom and dad wanted me to be an engineer, but I didn't. And I only agreed briefly over the summer because basically just to get them to like zip their mouths about it. But then when I attended these sporting events and did yearbook, I was like, yeah, I knew it was photography all along, and I should have stayed with photography, and that's what I'm doing. But my parents weren't really supportive of that still when I told them that I changed my mind again. And it got to the point where my mom and I are arguing about it, just like we always argued in the past like years. But eventually she reached her limit, and she kicked me out of the house back in October because I wanted to do photography, she wanted me to be an engineer, and we were both bickering over about it. My mom even attacked me too and took my car keys. So I basically walked to the school and tried to get help from there, but even then, when I did that, I did not get any help. The only help I really got was from my one English teacher who offered me a place to stay, and my Spanish teacher who was on call with me, and my sister too, but my sister was in college and she was far, so she couldn't help me. She was literally 2 hours away, and I'm not walking 2 hours. By the way, 2 hours away by car, so that means like literally maybe 8 hours on foot. So yeah, my sister was like a far help, but she was there to comfort me, and my Spanish teacher was there to comfort me as well, because I called Hannah and she brought the phone to her mom, and I explained both of them everything that has happened. And I was speaking to them at my local gas station, you know, the one that I filmed during my 4th anniversary vlog. Yeah, I was at that gas station crying and everything because I didn't know what to do. Parents kicked me out. My dad even wanted me gone too, according to my mom. That's what he said. So my parents both wanted me gone. I had no car anymore because my mom attacked me and took the keys. And I was at Speedway for like an hour, calling the school, calling friends and stuff to see who can help. And I had no choice but to walk to the school on foot, which took like an hour. And it was very dangerous too. I had to cross roads and everything. Like, I felt betrayed by my parents. They were supposed to support me in my dreams, but they didn't. Instead, they just did the opposite and kicked me out. And it didn't even get better too, because when I got to the school and everything, and I was surprised I actually made it safely without dying, because there was like, it was so dangerous. But I got to the school and I told them what happened, and then I met with the principal, and she set up a meeting between me and my mom. So my mom came to the school, and we had like a 3-person meeting. And my principal was so biased. She was siding with my mom, despite my mom illegally kicking me out because I'm not 18 yet, and for attacking me, and I'm not 18 yet. So like, I could press charges on her if I wanted to, but I don't, because like, I don't care anymore. But my principal was like very unsupportive of me. She excused my mom's illegal actions by saying she cared. She only cared about me succeeding, but like, if you wanted me to succeed, just support what I wanted to do the whole time. Photography. Not engineering, but photography. She didn't. She kicked her own son out because of that. Because she couldn't accept that her son wanted to do something different with his life. You really think she cared? She only cares for herself. She only cares for... I can't even speak. But basically, you know what you know what it's like, you know, having parents that just don't support your dreams because they want you to do something else, you know, something that they have in mind. But I wasn't going to do that. And because I opposed that idea, I'm apparently the bad guy, according to the principal, because she made me apologize. She said I was at fault and made me apologize several times, while my mom there doesn't apologize to me at all for attacking me, for kicking me out, for being unsupportive. No, she gets to sit there and just like relax because she's the mom. And apparently she's always right. According to the principal's logic, she's always right. That's not how life works. That's not how life works. We all respect each other. Doesn't matter if you're the president. Doesn't matter if you're freaking working at McDonald's, like 12 an hour. Like, we should all respect each other. So why is this any different? I don't know. My principal is very stupid. Everyone knows that by now, that she's very stupid. But, yeah. And it's also weird because I was my principal's personal videographer. And guess what? I quit. I didn't want to deal with someone who thinks, like, who was just unsupportive of what I was going through, you know? But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was that when I was taking photos at a football game, which, by the way, this was the same night that my mom kicked me out, the same evening and night. So when I was taking photos at this football game, my principal came up to me to check on how I was doing. And I asked my principal, why was she siding with my mom? And she was like, oh, it's because she's your mom and you were disrespecting her. But I was like, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was just trying to argue my point that I wanted to do photography, not engineering. And then my principal said, do you really want to do this right now? I'm like, are you threatening me to a physical fight or something? Like, I wasn't doing anything. And then basically what happened was that she said if I became a photographer, I would not make it anywhere in life. Not make anywhere good in life. Which, for a principal, you should not say that to your own student and crush their dreams like that. Especially the same night where they got kicked out of the house over this. You should not say that at all. What principal unsupports their student's dream? She just told me I was going to be a failure if I do photography. But guess what? I'm still going to do photography. You can't stop me. So yeah, my principal basically had the same logic with my mom, saying that if I do photography, I would basically grow up and be a failure. Hey, I'm just going to say it right now. I'd rather live happy than live long. Because I'm just going to be real with you. Living long doesn't sound that fun. You know? It doesn't. I mean, yeah, I do want to survive. But I want to survive happy. Not survive long and depressed. So, also it's kind of crazy that my principal says that about photography when she's a principal. Not a good one either. My school is kind of broke. So, like, her wage is probably her wage is not good compared to an average photographer probably. So I don't know why she's telling me that I'm gonna be a failure when look what she's doing. But whatever. So that was basically my whole senior year. So I had to deal with unsupportive parents and principal. I had to deal with petty high schoolers who can't move on from last year and who are just making stuff up because of last year. And yeah, that was basically it. Senior year was a total disaster, and that's why this section is like so long. But I'm gonna end today's video, guys, and I'm sorry if this is a long rant, although you kind of should have known by the title of the video and the length of the video that it was gonna be long. So yeah, if you like listening to like these type of like videos and stuff, then thank you for staying tuned with me. And yeah, and if you don't like watching these videos, then I'm sorry. I hope to see you guys next time in my next video, and I hope 2024 will be a new leaf to get rid of all the crazy BS stuff, the BS traumatizing stuff from 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. I want all the BS from those past 4 years to be left behind and to help me improve this year.